Hi, everyone. I'm the director of our New Zealand registered not for profit called Common Knowledge, www.commonknowledgetrust.org. And we've been known for 20 years online for producing Birthing Better, birthingbetter.org, and the online childbirth classes. Skills that were developed by hundreds of fathers and mothers in the early 1970s. Why is that important? Because as the director of the trust, we believe all of us should be able to use any kind of healthcare system that we want. And the other thing we believe is in self-help, which means I didn't develop the birth skills. A doctor, a midwife, a nurse, childbirth educator didn't. We, as fathers and mothers, did. And because I've had COVID and I'm in recovery, and I find it very sad as a naturopath who has spent 50 years working with people and educating people into their own wellness, along with whatever other types of healthcare they're using, that we have not gotten to the point yet where really there's a lot of self-help going around and people talking about what's working, refining what isn't quite, and understanding that there are heaps and 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 heaps of things that we can do for each other. This is the first part of a four-part series, and this is based on something that one of the people in the long haul group sent me. And you can see who they are, Caring Medical, and I'm sure they would love that I am promoting them. But we're going to talk about page 1 because they were page 4. And what is the vagus nerve? And what am I reading when I go onto the long haul groups? Okay, so I'm going to be very frank with you because why not? I would say 90% or more of you who are in the long haul groups were stressed prior to getting COVID. This is common. We live in a modern world that is sympathetic nervous system driven. And I used to think that sympathetic nervous system meant that sympathetic was the good part of it. And it turns out it's the bad part of it, right? Go figure that. But we all know what that looks like. We're doing too much. We're very, very busy. We have lots of demands on ourselves. We have difficulty relaxing. We are multitasking. We know we're stressed. We don't know what to do about it. Some of us have physical ailments related to it. Some of us have been diagnosed with psychological or mental issues or physical issues that are stress related, and we're very stressed. And when you have a virus that's unknown in your body, that stresses you out. And what does it mean, stress? It's the sympathetic nervous system. What does the sympathetic nervous system mean? It means fright. Okay? So how many of you, even before you got COVID, had frightening things happen or were anxious about the future, anxious about your children, anxious about your job, anxious about your relationship? How many of you had fright? How many of you, when you got COVID, became frightened? Still feel frightened? That's the sympathetic nervous system. That's how you feel. And before I go further, let me tell you something. What I hear a lot of is people saying, I'm having physical issues. I've asked my doctor, they think that it's anxiety. It's not, it's physical. So let me tell you the truth. Your body, your emotions, and your mind are you. So when your body is stressed, your mind feels it. When your mind is stressed, your body feels it. When your emotions are stressed, your mind and your body feel it. And when your body feels stressed and when your mind feels stressed, your emotions feel stressed. So there is no separation. If your doctor or psychologist is telling you you are anxious, they're telling you the truth. They may put you on antidepressants. Why? Because they want to reduce your anxiety. Or if you go to the medical doctor because your heart's pounding out of your chest, and even though they look at things, they're telling you this is not life-threatening, you are stressed, but we're going to treat this with something like a beta blocker. They're giving you a beta blocker to reduce your stress. They're just doing it from a different way. And so I am very cautious about telling you anything. I can't treat, I can't diagnose, I can't prescribe. I'm not a doctor. I'm not licensed to do those things. And your licensed care providers know what they know, and they're trying to help you. And the question is, can you help yourself? And if you can't help yourself, that's a problem, because that's actually a choice. 30 years ago, if you had diabetes or a heart condition, or you were obese or something like that, or high cholesterol, the medical profession said it has nothing to do at all with exercise, diet, or your emotional stress. Well, they've woken up. They know you have to eat better, you have to exercise, and you have to decompress. So fear is one of the sympathetic nervous system's reaction. Right. Flight is another one. You just want to get out of this. You just want it to stop. What I read all the time is, I felt really well today, and so I went out and I did a gazillion things, and now I feel terrible. When's this going to ever stop? That's flight and fright. Flight, fright, flight, and freeze. Most of you feel absolutely paralyzed. You're trying to go to the doctors. Many of you are dismissing the doctors as not caring and not knowing. They're just men and women trying to do their jobs. They don't know what to do to help you. And there's not enough self-help going around to go back to your health professionals and say, I'm doing this and I'm feeling better. So fright, flight, fight. A lot of you can tell how angry you feel. And you may have been angry beforehand. And freeze. I have not read one post, really, maybe a tiny number of posts of people who are living more in their parasympathetic nervous system, which is calm, relaxed, happy, easygoing. Can you be that way when you're feeling unwell? Yeah, some people can, because they don't get jacked up. So we're going to talk about, what do you do? This Caring Medical has put out 4 pages of suggestions. Is that enough? Probably for most of you, no, it's not enough. Because you know what you're going to do? You're going to say, okay, I tried alternate nose breathing. There you go. Okay, I applied cold compresses to my face and the back of your neck. I got quiet for 2 seconds. I tried to breathe more deeply and slowly. I complimented others. Yeah, I told my partner. I told my kids. I connected with nature. Yeah, beautiful flower outdoor. Diaphragmatic breathing. Yeah, don't really know how to do that. Eat whole foods. Nah, I can't change my diet. Don't really want to. Exercise. Sure, I go walk around the block. Expose your skin to sunlight. Don't know about that. Have an attitude of gratitude, even though things seem horrible. I hum. Never heard of that. I laugh and giggle often. Not now. I listen to calming instrumental music versus amped up and heavy music. Never thought about it. So let me talk to you about all of these things. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 things you can try. And this is page 1. Okay. So what does this mean? So I'm going to go through some of these things. I have been a naturopath for 50 years, worked with thousands of people. I know people who want to change and people who don't want to change. And most people who don't want to change can't be bothered. And often they identify with themselves as their personality. Oh, I'm a high energy person. Oh, I stress easily. I've always been like this. Nothing's going to change me. Reality is you don't want to change. And why don't you want to change? Because you're familiar with that. You're familiar with yourself. You're not familiar with yourself being something else. Now, in all the videos that I've done, I've talked about symptoms and episodes. Okay, we have symptoms. Okay. So, for instance, we're breathing too fast. A lot of people are talking about breathlessness. I can bet you that all of you who are breathing too fast are breathing up here in your chest. Why does that matter? Breathing in your chest is trying to use the upper part of your lungs, which is very inefficient. The most effective part of your lungs is below the nipple line. That's the diaphragmatic breathing, by the way, which most of you don't know, because many of you are probably mouth breathing. And if you're talking a lot, you're breathing in your mouth when you're talking. So the alternate nose breathing, there's a reason that stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. These aren't just tricks. You want to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which means instead of feeling as much fright, flight, fight, and freeze, you feel and maintain being calm and being relaxed. That's choice. When your body is sick and it's stimulating your immune system, it is stimulating the sympathetic nervous system. It's going into fright, flight, fight, or freeze. And this is a new virus. And this new virus is causing our immune system to go into super hyper mode. If you were a tense person before, anxious person before, frightened person before, an aggressive person before, a person who slept all the time before, was always tired, all those symptoms of the sympathetic nervous system, you've been amped up now. And you're trying to get unamped. And to get unamped, this means that you're at a changing point in your life. That means you have change. And change doesn't come easy to a lot of us. They're called habits. And if you're going to change a habit, you have to replace it with a new habit. So let's start off with the alternate nose breathing. There's a purpose for that. Because when you breathe in one nose at a time, and so alternate nose breathing can mean two things. It can mean breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Or it can mean breathe in for a while, breathe in and out for a while, and then breathe in and out for a while. So I'm going to tell you about this one. This one, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, is yoga, prana yoga, right? Or hatha yoga, or breathing yoga. So you can find out more about that. Breathing in one nostril for a period of time. How long? For goodness sakes, do it for 5 seconds. If you can do it for 20 seconds, do it for 20 seconds. If you can do it for a minute, do it for a minute. If you can do it for 5 minutes, do it for 5 minutes. How many times a day? Well, if it makes you feel good, do it again later when you're not feeling as good, and then see if you feel better. Because why? You're recognizing a habit, whether you intended it to be, you're jittery, you're anxious, you're whatever, and you breathe in and out your nostril for a few minutes, in and out your other nostril for a few minutes, and you feel calmer. Hold on to that calm as long as you can. That's changing habits. So what that does, the breathing in and out one side for time and then the other side for time, it reduces the airflow. And for all of you that are breathless, that's like, a cat on the road. Right? So you have to decide how you're going to approach this. And what it does is it grows your carbon dioxide tolerance. When you are carbon dioxide tolerant, you're not as breathless. And so doing this, one side and then the other side, increases your carbon dioxide tolerance over time. So you're not as breathless. That's why you're feeling calmer after doing it. And when you have higher carbon dioxide tolerance, the carbon dioxide detaches your oxygen from your red blood cells and circulates it out through your 100,000 miles of blood vessels and sends it out to your organs and to your tissues. So it dilates your blood vessels, your heart, the alveoli in your lungs, and it sends out oxygen, which feeds all those things. So you feel calmer. Your parasympathetic nervous system gets turned on. Going on to cold compresses. Try it. There's a whole system. There's a breathing system called Wim Hof. I don't do it. It's over hyperventilating. Don't recommend it for people with COVID long haul, but if anybody has success, go for it. But applying cold compresses to your face and the back of your neck calms the energy from constantly going up, right? Because the energy that's going up is always hot energy. And the sympathetic nervous system, even though you can have cold hands and cold feet, your internal energy is moving at the speed of light. It's very fast, which is very hot. And so by applying cold to heat, it calms it down. And there is some indication, if you look up benefit of cold showers, so look up that. Use Google, use YouTube, and then you'll find out. It has a calming impact. Number 3, quiet. That can be sitting still, and our mind is just racing like a herd of elephants going through, or monkeys tumbling all over the place. So quiet means 2 things with your mind. Telling your mind, sit down and shut up, and seeing how long that lasts. If that lasts for 3 seconds, you're quiet for 3 seconds. Or it just lets those things go through our mind without any attachment. We know it's attachment when we start developing a story around what we're thinking about. That's our inner dialogue. So just be quiet. Stop the inner dialogue. Sit down and shut up. That's quiet. Please doesn't always work. Compliment others. Oh, you look good today. If you don't feel that compliment, you don't receive any benefit. Connect with nature. I work with a lot of people who tell me, if I go out in nature, I'm very calm. And they come back, and that's exactly what they do. They're out in nature, then they come back. Their behavior changes. If you connect with nature, stay connected to nature, even though you're sitting in the car in a rush hour. You don't have to stop that connection. Because the connection you feel in nature, when you feel calm, is just your parasympathetic nervous system. You can feel calm anywhere. You just have to choose to have the skills to do so and recognize when you're getting jittery and starting to lose that, and then easing yourself back. Does it take work? Oh, of course it does. Anything worthwhile takes work. Haven't you figured that out yet? Diaphragmatic breathing. Most people don't. They're just breathing up here. So the best way is just put your hand on your belly and your tummy and see when you breathe in and breathe out, whether you breathe in and expands a little bit, but not like this. That is the opposite. You just, when you breathe in, instead of feeling this go, feel your belly go. And you can put your hand here and your hand here. And just try to make more of that go rather than this go. How long should you do it? I don't know. 1 breath? 10 breaths? Up to you. You're adults. If you feel better from doing it, do it. If that didn't make you feel better, well then don't do that yet. This isn't a contest. This is your health and wellness. You want to grow the things on this number 1 page that make you feel better and that you can maintain that better feeling for longer. You reduce the intensity of the sympathetic nervous system episodes, you reduce how long they last, and you increase when your parasympathetic nervous system is active. Eat a whole diet. A lot of people say, I do. A lot of other people say, I can't. I have a family. Can't change the diet for yourself. Just change one thing. Doesn't even have to be every day. It can be one thing for the week or the month. And then once you get used to that, change something else. This does not have to be a chore. And that was always interesting. I never said to my kids, you need to do chores. I told them what they had to do to live life. You make your bed. That's not a chore. You make your bed. You have to do that. Hang your clothes up. It's not a chore. These aren't chores. These are things that we should be doing. Why? Because they stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. We feel better. We have to do them. Exercise. Lots on YouTube. Gentle to vigorous. Always do, when you're having COVID long haul, do exercise and save half of your strength and energy. Most people aren't. They're just going full bore, right? And then they get exhausted. No, just kidding. Right? Because you're treating your body, your mind, and your emotions as they're your different elements. They're not. They're you. And I did exercises, even though no matter how sick I was, but I did a lot of very gentle ones. I just lay there and I would imagine my ability to just move my arms or my legs or to bend my knee or to walk. I imagined myself running or catching a ball or throwing a ball or swimming. All the imagination we do is exercise. That's how Olympic athletes practice often. So they just imagine. It's not better than the real stuff, but it's better than nothing. Expose your skin to sunlight without sunscreen, because when you're in sunlight without sunscreen, the layer under your skin shines bright white, and that's nitric oxide. And that nitric oxide dilates your blood vessels. And if you can couple that with increasing your carbon dioxide tolerance, then you will feel much calmer. Warm hands, warm feet, warm chest, tingling in your face. Very good feeling. That's your 100,000 miles of blood vessels being opened up, the oxygen being disassociated from your hemoglobin and circulating throughout your muscles, your organs, your tissues. 20 minutes a day. How do we know this works? We get sleepy. What's sleepy? It's the parasympathetic nervous system. Because a lot of people on the long haul Facebook groups are talking about the fact they can't sleep. They can't sleep because they're wired to the brim. We're wired to the brim because we don't yet have the skills to change how we're feeling. Have an attitude of gratitude. That's a nice one. Make a list of all the things you're grateful for besides surviving. And then go back and feel what it feels like to have gratitude. This is not an intellectual endeavor. This is an endeavor of you, and you are your mind, your emotions, and your body. So if you are grateful for not dying, feel that in your body. What that gratitude feels like in your body will move you to tears. Hum. This has been quite new, actually. This is another way to develop nitric oxide. Put your tongue to your roof of the mouth so you're not humming down here. You want to hum here, feel this vibrate, because this collects nitric oxide here. And after the exhale humming, you're breathing in and you're drawing it into your lungs, which opens up your alveoli so you breathe better, you're less breathless. And it distributes it out into your blood vessels because nitric oxide is a vasodilator because it makes us feel relaxed. And when we feel relaxed, the blood vessels relax. Laugh and giggle a lot. Look up laughter yoga. I'm a laughter yoga instructor. Laugh about stupid things. Make up laughing. Why am I laughing? You're sick. Just laugh because laughter stimulates our parasympathetic nervous system. A lot of people in this group, I would say, have zero sense of humor at the moment. They're so wrapped up in themselves, and their selves feel so disassociated to what they would like for themselves. So you have, as I said in the description, 3 choices. You can wait till the medical profession sorts it out, do nothing, or you can help yourself. Listen to calming instrumental music versus amped up heavy something. Go to YouTube. There are things called binaural, Binaural, or something like that, brain waves. We have frequencies in our brain. Some of those frequencies are for having an active mind, some for being a creative mind, some for going to sleep, some for calming you down. They'll tell you what hertz they are. Often they're a white noise rather than music, and they can have them for hours. One person on one of the sites talks about the whispering, the YouTube whispering that some people use. I have friends who listen to BBC radio and fall asleep to radio because they like chatting. Try not to do it with a screen on in the TV, or face your computer away from you, or put something over your computer so that the light from the computer's not in the room. And then be calm. And if your mind starts jumping around, what do you say to it? Just sit down and shut up. Or just watch the thoughts go by and don't create stories. So this is the first of 4. This is called the vagus nerve. Just let's keep it simple. It's just your parasympathetic nervous system. Let's keep it even simpler. It's just feeling calmer, more relaxed, more capable. Let's just keep it simpler. Just reducing the episodes that make you feel crappy and increasing the times when you feel a bit better. And then you know what you do? You have gratitude for that. Okay. See you later.